Hey, everybody. Okay, so we're back. Don't mind me, I'm still trying to get my crap together here. On the floor. Okay, sorry about that, you guys. Good morning, everybody showing up. Yes, hello. So, surprise hearing call today in the Bryan Kohberger case. We know that the FBI and law enforcement has been back at the 1122 King Road house. From what I am gathering, they are now wrapped up and they have, let me just see here if I can show this. Let me just, this is them. A lot of people are going, why is he out on the roof? So I will show this. You can see the guy right here coming out. They are now boarding the house back up. That's why this guy is coming out on the roof. They can't board it back up from the inside, right? They got to be out on the roof here to board up the windows on the second floor. So that's what they are doing. So that's what's happening right now, you guys. They're boarding it back up. They've done their investigation and this 3D imaging and everything that they wanted to do, measurements. Now, everybody is saying, why wasn't this done long ago, right? Well, apparently they did do a 2D imaging the first time. This is different. This is a 3D imaging, and it's going to go right down to the centimeter. They're going to have, this is a lot better system, and it takes a lot of time once they've done their scans, which they have. 2 days now, they've done the outside, the inside, they've got drone stuff. This takes months to put all together. So they're going to be using this in court. This is 100 times better than the 2D scan that they initially did. And the reason why they didn't do this scan to this extent was because they just wouldn't have had time to get it all put together in time for the trial, because at first Bryan Kohberger had not waived his right to a speedy trial. So to spend every single waking moment getting a 3D put together instead of working on other parts of the case that they needed to work on, they just would not have had the time for this kind of scan. So now that Bryan Kohberger has waived his right to a speedy trial, now they have time to do this scan. It doesn't take long to do the scan. It's putting it all together. So I don't think a lot of people understand that. So we are going to be hearing, there's a surprise hearing this morning. And we're going to see what it is. Are they ready to set a trial date? Yeah, now. What are they going to pull? I know it's a conferencing, a scheduling and conferencing. We don't know what the defense is about to pull. We won't know until this starts. So Sybil, hello. Kate, haters gonna hate. Been here since the Gabby. Yeah, I've been here for, I think in my first case that I started was the Lori Vallow, Chad Daybell, and Suzanne Morphew were my very first cases that I started covering here on YouTube. So thank you for being here, and I appreciate your support. Nana, Adegini, just me, stay-at-home mom detective. Good morning, everybody. Please smash that like button on your way in. It gets us out there in the algorithm so we can get going on this. It takes 2 seconds to do. Pop out a chat, click that like button, come on back in. When you come back in, please make sure you have live chat selected at the top of your chat box so you don't miss anything. Please smash that like. It gets us out there so we can get going on all this. Okay. Good morning, Sandra, or good afternoon. Sorry, good afternoon, Sandra. Okay, so also today, I guess they are going to be bringing up this IGG stuff again. The judge may have a ruling on that. We don't know. I'm wondering, like, are they going to set a trial date? Has the defense finally, um, you know, had enough and they just want to go forward now? Are they going to push for a trial date? I mean, they can't really push that hard and demand a speedy trial now because he's waived his right to a speedy trial. So it's going to be up to the prosecution when they feel now that they're going to be ready. This here is going to take months. So we know that the prosecution has no intention of setting this trial date anytime soon. And if they do, it's going to be well into 2024. And we know that by them saying, now that they've gone back in the house and done this 3D scanning, that it takes months to put together. So it's going to be at least 5 months, I'm going to say. So I think you guys, this trial isn't going to happen till at least summer of 2024. Now, is the defense going to like that? Probably not. Like, they wanted to get this into court and get his trial going quickly. So the prosecution was rushed to get their case together because of the speedy trial rule. I don't know, but now that they have given up their right to a speedy trial, they can't force it, right? And if the prosecution is now going to be saying, look at, we need extra time for this because now we've done this 3D scanning. So this is supposed to start at 10:30 a.m. Idaho time, which is 1:30 Eastern. I'm not seeing any movement on it yet. I am watching you guys. Let me see here. Oops. Wait just a second here, you guys. Kate Bell, I still haven't got your email. You need to email me so I can get your bracelet out to you. I need your mailing address. I'm going to be mailing out tomorrow, so I need Lady D. Still has not emailed me. If I don't hear from Lady D soon, I'm going to be drawing another name for the monthly giveaway. I'm going to give it, I'm going to say a week. I put it on my community tab. I put it everywhere. So Lady D, if you do see this, you need to email me. You won the monthly basket giveaway. You need to email me with your address, or I will be, come Tuesday, I will wait a week. Come Tuesday, I will draw another name. But Kate Bell, yes, I need you to email me too with your address so I can get your bracelet sent out to you. I've got it sitting here waiting. Good morning, everybody coming in. Here's Kate Bell. And there's Charlotte. Yeah, okay, here's the address. It's just above and beyond Ancestor at Outlook.com. It's not Ancestor Readings. It's just above and beyond Ancestor at Outlook.com. My email is in my About section. My email is also in the the description of any of the video. You can find my email there also. Hello, Giet. Hello, Christina. Lori. Hello, everybody coming in. Make sure you're smashing that like on the way in, please. So this is scheduled to start anytime. 5 minutes. 5 minutes out. I'm just looking around here, you guys, to see. Oops. As soon as I see or hear anything, you guys, believe me, I will be bringing it to you. And as we know, they are generally late starting. Oops. So that's what we are waiting for. So Jeff H says the buccal swab they took from Bryan's own mouth is a match for the DNA found on the knife sheath, right? Yes. Hello, Bonnie Baker. Hello, Jeff. Hello, Smoke. So like I said, you guys, we are just okay, so the judge is just coming in. You guys, this is there is a Zoom, but the only ones that are allowed on the Zoom are family of the victims and of the defendant. I believe Court TV may be recording it, but they will not be able to show it until later on tonight. So there's reporters that are in the courtroom. That's how I'm going to be bringing you the information as to what's going on. And then later on, I will put the link in on my community tab. I will put the link there when I do find the Court TV coverage of it. If they are, I haven't seen that they are even allowed to go in and record it today. So this is probably going to be the best that we get. Usually Court TV will let us know that there is going to be a live coming on this. Live streaming is not allowed. So any recordings that are being done, if they are allowed, and I haven't seen that they've been allowed, won't be up until much later today. So this is probably going to be about the only information we're going to get regarding this. Where was that? Just says, so the defense, knowing the truth of the DNA on the sheath, wants to attack how the truth was obtained. Yes, because if they can get that DNA evidence on the sheath thrown out, then that's going to be a big hit to the prosecution. And what they're trying to do is they're trying to say that they use the IgG, the way they got the family tree stuff and all that, that it was obtained illegally. They're saying that that is the only reason how they found out that, it was going to be Bryan Kohberger, because the DNA in the trees, family trees and everything, came back to a male child of Bryan's dad. And Bryan's the only male child. There's Lady D. Lady D, you need to email me and send me your address. You won the monthly gift basket. So please email me. You need to email me, my dear. And you can find my email in my About section on YouTube or in the description of any video. It's Above and Beyond Ancestor. Please don't put readings in there because it won't come to me. So Above and Beyond Ancestor at outlook.com. Okay, thank you, Lady D. Yay. Yes, Lady D won the monthly. Kate Bell won Sunday's draw. Okay, so back to this IgG. So if they can get, what they're trying to do is getting that DNA thrown out. And if they can prove that the police went about it illegally and obtained it illegally, but I mean, like even with this car and everything else, you guys, there was a security guard when they said that they were looking for this Elantra. Okay, doesn't matter what year they were saying, this white Elantra, they were looking for it. There was a security guard in the apartment complex where Bryan Kohberger lived. He called the police and said, look I've got this guy that has a white Hyundai. Maybe you want to come and check it out. So that's more that they linked Bryan Kohberger also. Okay, so, and then they did, when they finally nailed it down to him and they did the buccal swab, it matched. So if they can get that DNA evidence thrown out on the sheath, I don't know. I still can't see it flying. It's still going to be, okay, well, yes, maybe we shouldn't have used the IgG. I mean, but many law enforcements do it when it comes back unknown when they put it into CODIS. Let me just check here, make sure nothing else has come out yet, you guys. Okay, so they're just waiting for everybody to be in the courtroom. The judge is in there. So any information that I'm getting, you guys, I will pass to you. Crafts and Crime. That's wrong. You're wrong. Crafts and Crime says the problem really is that it's transfer DNA. There is nothing saying that it is transfer DNA. Nothing. Everybody's trying to have their own narrative of how that DNA got on the snap. And that's more rumors and crap that people are spreading around, that people are now starting to believe and take as fact. No paper, nothing from law enforcement, from the lab, nothing has said that it is transfer DNA. That is a narrative that others are spreading. It's not true. this is what everybody's, oh, it's transfer DNA. What if he lent his knife to somebody and that person or transferred his DNA on? No, that crass and crime is a load of crap. And I'm not blaming you, hon, if that's what you've heard, but this is what the problem is we're having. And that's why I keep everything factual here. I'm not blaming you, crafts and crime. I'm just saying these are narratives that other people are spreading to get clicks and views and this and that, and put out theories out there to get people believing their own narrative. And it's like, it's bull crap. Nothing in the court documents, DNA testing, anything has ever said that it is transfer DNA. It's a load of crap. So I am going to remove that, only that comment, crafts and crime, because I don't like having stuff that isn't true in on the chat. Yeah, and they also, you know, like he's put himself there. Like, thank you, Jason. Like he's come out and said, I was driving around. I drive around all the time at night. You know, so it's like there's so much out there, you guys. Please stick to the facts. Let's not get pulled into this false narrative that some people like to spread. And that is to drive people to their channel, right? So they can get the clicks and views. You're only going to hear verified information here. So, and yes, this is one of the things that his lawyer put out, said that, oh, he does that all the time. He goes out driving at night by himself. So that's okay, crass and crime. It's not your fault, but let's not. Yeah, it's a whole case. The case is a whole mess. No, that is not illegal. If Bryan was sitting in a Thai restaurant and an FBI agent ran up and took Bryan's drinking cup, would that be legally usable for DNA collection? Yes. I thought you said, is that illegal? Can they do that? Anytime, once you throw something out or you leave something and walk away from it, like say you're in a restaurant, you've used your forks and knives, you used a cup, you used a coffee cup, whatever, and you get up and you're leaving, you left the restaurant, the police can seize that to get your DNA. Okay, thank you, Lady D. So it will be shipped out tomorrow, as well as I've got Kate's to ship out, and I've got the week before's winner. I think it was Christine. Let me just check here to be sure. Christine, yes. Hers will be shipped out tomorrow also, so I'll be shipping all three. Okay, let's see if there's anything else that's coming out yet. And as usual, well, they're about going on 10 minutes late. Not everybody is in the courtroom yet, so that's what they are waiting on. Well, his phone and his GPS showed exactly where he was. At 2, I don't have my map up, so I'm just going to be around about 2:45 a.m. He leaves his apartment in Pullman. He heads towards Moscow on that highway that leads Pullman to Moscow. It's about a 15-minute drive. Halfway there, he shuts his phone off. His phone does not come back on until just after the incident happens, and it pings him near Genesee, exactly where his car is pinging also. That's where his phone comes back on, and he takes a long route back to Pullman, Washington, but his car is caught on video around the house, and they know this because he had no friend. He had only one license plate. Okay, so this will all come out in trial, you guys. There's enough to put him there. But it's funny that his car is all in that area by video and everything that they have that proves he was in that area and there at the time of the murders. And then his car leaves. It goes the same way, like out the back way this time, instead of the quick drive back to Pullman in 15 minutes, the way he came in. He goes a long way around. That takes him way down, I guess, south. Takes him over an hour to get back to his apartment. And as 15 minutes after he leaves that area of 1122 King Road, his car is spotted in Genesee. It's pinged there, and so is his phone. So, I mean, they got enough. Well, I don't see him being able to take any coffee cups or mugs or silver cutlery or anything like that, but no, cameras are not allowed, Stacy, so I'll be giving you the information as it's coming out, as I get it. Okay, so the hearing is starting right now. There's tons of parties on Zoom. Kohberger's attorney, Ann Taylor, is in the basement under the courtroom, which is the jail. Taylor and Kohberger are on Zoom together. So Ann Taylor is in the bottom of the courthouse with Bryan Kohberger. Oh, so everybody's on Zoom. Wow. So this is about to start. Are they going to set a trial date, you guys? Well, like I said, when you carry a knife in a sheath into a crime scene to use that knife to do the deed and you drop the sheath, there you go. Like I said, they have some pretty good evidence, and they probably have a ton more. We're not going to see all the evidence. We didn't see all the evidence they got. So we'll see it all when it comes out in trial. Okay, so the prosecutor says they have asked the FBI for all the genealogy info. It's a long process that has to go through the Department of Justice. Could take a month, he says. So I guess to get this for what the FBI has, it's going to take quite a while for them to get it. The prosecution saying it's a long process that has to go through the Department of Justice. So now that the judge has ordered, okay, look, I want this stuff. I want to look it over to see what maybe has to be redacted, if certain names have to be redacted so they're not put out there and then harassed by crazy people. Or their characters slandered all over, stuff like that. It's there to protect them. So the judge wanted to go through it to see what had to be redacted or whatever before it's being handed to the defense. I do believe the defense should have it, you guys. But I think it needs to be redacted with those people's names removed because they don't need to be harassed and threatened and all these crazy people that, just want information to throw it out there so they can get clicks and views, and they don't care whose lives they destroy. So the judge wants to be able to go over it first to make sure that certain things are redacted, and that the defense only gets what they are entitled to get. And I do believe that they should be able to see how they went about this. Okay, look, we've got this unknown, and this is what it matched to. This is how we broke down everything. This is how we got to the family tree. This is how we figured out that it is a male offspring of Bryan Kohberger's dad. I get it. They should be able to have that. It's going on right now, Hannah. So right now the prosecution is saying that they've asked the FBI for all the genetic genealogy info. It's a long process that has to go through the Department of Justice. And he says it could take a month or so to get that to the judge. The judge wants to go over it first before anything is given to the defense, just so the people's names that don't need to be dragged into this are not dragged into it. And you got people like, we've seen YouTubers showing up on people's doorsteps and front lawns and yelling and screaming and carrying on. We don't need to destroy everybody's life in here. There's one person responsible for this, and it's not them. Okay. Okay. So Kohberger prosecutor explaining a private lab also worked on the genetic genealogy. There are multiple reports they are trying to get from the private lab and the FBI. The defense says it's been a long road for us to get information. Yeah, and I don't think Court TV can even record this today because it's all on Zoom. So this is what you guys are going to get regarding this hearing. Everybody is on Zoom for this hearing. So, and apparently it's only the people involved in the case, like the prosecution, defense, Kohberger himself, and the families of the victim and the defendant that are allowed on the Zoom. So I don't know how Court TV would videotape it, so I don't think there is going to. I think that's why the judge denied it. But if they do happen to videotape any of this, they will not be putting it out until much later today. So we're hearing it as it's happening right now. As things come out of the courtroom, I'm getting it here, so I will be telling you what's going on. So right now they are arguing about this genetic genealogy. The prosecutor is saying, fine, if we got to give it, we're going to give it. But the judge is now saying that he wants to go over it. He wants to make sure that, all these innocent people that have no ties to this case at all, other than having their DNA in, what is it, You4Me or whatever those sites are, Ancestry and all that. They don't need to be dragged into this. And I agree with the judge that their names should be blacked out. Like, take them out. They don't need to have the harassment from some of these crazy people that are going to go and start harassing them. So I do agree, but there's multiple reports that they're trying to get from the private lab and from the FBI. And then even once they get that, it has to go through the Department of Justice, I guess, because the FBI is involved. It's a whole big kerfunkel. Now, I want you guys to know that a lot of people are saying, oh my God, like they're going to get this case thrown out because, hang on a sec. Sorry about that. Because the prosecution isn't giving them disclosure and all that. The reason why the defense, and you will see this in almost every case, the defense is always going to continue asking for disclosure. They're keeping their place on the record. Okay. That doesn't mean that the prosecution is not handing stuff over. They are just keeping their marker in the record saying that they've requested this stuff. It does not mean that the prosecution is not turning it over. When there is something that they feel hasn't been turned over, that's why they fight about it like this with this IgG info. Okay. But the prosecution is doing everything they can to get it. The FBI is holding it up right now because of the different levels of law enforcement that have dealt with this, private labs, law enforcement labs, FBI labs. There's a whole bunch of labs involved. They've got to get everything together. It's got to go through the Department of Justice before it's given to anybody. So it's not like the prosecution is purposely holding this up. They're not. They did, and they did within their rights, fight to keep this out. They lost. The judge says, I want to see it. And as soon as that ruling was made, they said, okay, here we go. They've been trying to get this for a while, and it's the FBI that, needs to get on this and get it moving along quicker if they can. But it has to go through many different things before it lands in anybody's hands. Well, we all know how they did it. They have an unknown DNA that they went and they entered that with a fake name saying, I want to find my family members. So they entered that as their own DNA into these databases for like you and me and Ancestry and all that. And they got some hits. That's how they did it. We all know how they did it. What's being fought is how legal that is, if it's legal or not. Now, they do it all the time from what we've heard. The defense is going to fight it, as they said, just because the defense is putting up a stink. It's illegal. They can't do it. These people didn't consent to it. The only ones that have an argument to fight it are the people whose DNA is in that bank. Bryan Kohberger can't fight it and say, well, that's illegal. They can't do that. I object. Well, it's not his DNA that was in there. It was somebody else's. You can't object for somebody else. They would have to object. And if you don't check that box saying that LE can't use this, then you're free game. You're fair game. So there's a lot of intricacies with this that normal lay people would not understand. So there's that. We all know how they did it, but they're trying to protect the people that did submit their DNA for reasons to find their families. Marie says it's legal in CPS cases. Thank you, Leslie. 23andMe. Hello, everybody coming in. Hannah. Lita. Marie, good to see you. See ya. Leslie. Hello, everybody. I'm sorry if I've missed anybody coming in. So this is where it is at. The judge says he would prefer to review all the DNA information at the same time. He is setting a deadline for all the DNA information to be submitted to the court by December 1st. Let me just write this down. December 1st, all DNA information to be submitted. So by December 1st, he is saying there could be another delay getting the reports from the FBI, and that's where the issue seems to be. So it's not with the prosecution at all. Like everybody's trying to put that narrative of, oh, the prosecution's doing it. It's not. It's the FBI seems to be the issue, and getting it released through the Department of Justice. The prosecutor is explaining a private lab also worked on the genetic genealogy. There are multiple reports they are trying to get from the private labs and the FBI. The FBI seems to be the issue. The defense says it's been a long road for us to get this information, and this is what they are getting now. Getting the reports from the FBI seems to be the issue. So the judge is ordering all reports regarding DNA information is to be submitted by December 1st. Now, can they force the FBI to get this done? I think they should be able, the court should be able to. But that's where the holdup is. A reminder why the genetic genealogy DNA stuff is so important in the Kohberger case. It's how they narrowed down the suspect profile to Kohberger. Like I said, when they got that DNA off the knife sheath, they ran it through CODIS, no matches. So what they did is they started running it through all these 23andMe and Ancestry and everything, and they narrowed it down to a bunch of profiles that formed, that they break down even further, and it came up, they found Bryan Kohberger's father in there. that was a match that said it was a male offspring of this person would be a match. So then they started, they already had information. They'd already interviewed Kohberger. Believe it or not, you guys, it's in there. Then you have the security guard from where the apartments and the campus where he was in Pullman saying, look at this guy's really weird and he has an Elantra. So now when the security guard does that, okay, well, let's run the plate and see who owns that. It's Bryan Kohberger, and they've got ancestry stuff with Bryan Kohberger's father matching a good percentage of that DNA that was on the sheath that they ran through the Ancestor and all that. Bingo. Now they are looking at Bryan Kohberger. And I believe that is when it all started narrowing in on him. So the big concern with getting these the IGG genealogy reports is family trees and names of people totally unrelated to the Kohberger investigation could be contained in that. And what that means is, like I just said, this is what just came out of the courtroom now, is that those people are going to be protected. They have to be protected. They have no ties to this case whatsoever. It could be a third, fourth cousin. You know what I mean? So when they start breaking it down until they've got almost a really close DNA match, they know who Bryan, well, they didn't know at the time Bryan's name, but they knew that it was an offspring. It was a child of, I forget what Bryan Kohberger's dad's name is. What's his name? Christopher? Chris Kohberger? What's his dad's name? Anybody know? Yes, I would say it's brilliant. Michael, thank you, Jeff. So Michael Kohberger, his DNA was in there. So they knew that it was a male child of Michael Kohberger's. That's how they started. And then they had, well, wait a minute. We had a report from Pullman saying that this Bryan Kohberger lives there and is in the Washington University, whatever. And he has a white Hyundai Elantra. And we've got a family tree with Michael Kohberger, and it's an offspring of his. Is Michael Kohberger Bryan Kohberger's father? Yes. Okay, we've got our suspect. Now we got to find him. And if you go back to my read that I did just after this, maybe I think it was like a week, maybe 2 weeks after the incident happened, maybe even 3. I think it was just the beginning of December. I did a read that said they have their suspect. They know exactly who did this, and they're gathering all their information. There's going to be I think the headline is arrest is coming. Bryan Kohberger arrest is coming. I think I did it on December 1st. If you guys want to look back and find that. Yes, it could have proved it wasn't him. Yeah. Enduring Valor says, bingo, nothing. You all fail to realize law enforcement is not allowed. They use it all the time. The FBI explained that this was not to be used as a reason for solely pursuing him. Exactly. But then you've got cameras that show his car in the area. You've got the security guard that says he's weird and he has this car, blah, blah, blah. When they run his name for that license plate on that car in Pullman and it comes back to Bryan Kohberger, and the DNA that was on the knife sheath did match up, is an offspring of Michael Kohberger. That's not the sole purpose. That's how they got who his father was, but what matched him to Michael Kohberger was when they ran the license plate on that car. It's Bryan Kohberger's. There's many ways that they've done it. I'm not going to argue about it. We're here to hear what this hearing's about. I'm not going to get into a pissing match with anybody. It shows enduring valor that there was no front license plate on the car. In Washington and in Idaho, there's 2 license plates, one on the front, one on the back. Pennsylvania, where Bryan Kohberger's car was registered at the time of the incident, had no front license plates because Pennsylvania doesn't require one. Like, obviously, we got Bryan is innocent until proven guilty. Yes. And I believe he's going to be proved guilty. The state is yet to provide evidence, in my opinion, to prove his guilt. Okay. We'll agree to disagree, but I'm not going to get in a pissing match about it in here today. We're here to cover the hearing today. And that's it. If you come in here to try and cause some problems, I don't need any support. I am putting out the facts that have come out. The front license plate isn't going to be caught on one of the cameras because there was no front license plate, my dear. Why was there no front license plate? Because it's not required in Pennsylvania, but the front license plates are required in Idaho and Washington. Now, that's the end. We're not arguing about this case in this live. That's not what it's about today. Let's keep it focused on this court hearing. I know there's a lot of people out there that think that Bryan Kohberger is innocent. I'm not one of them. There's a lot of channels that think he is. I'm not one of them. Although I respect your thoughts, I'm not going to get into a pissing match about it here. Oh, there is. Jeff, I agree. He's still innocent until proven guilty, but I do feel that there is enough evidence from what I've seen so far. If the defense comes out with stuff at trial that, I won't say, I wouldn't convict him until I've heard all the evidence, but I do believe right now he is. Will the evidence that's brought up at trial change my mind? It could. I'm opening the door to that. Like, it's wide open. But right now, from what I've seen, I do believe he's guilty. Could the defense change my opinion? They could. Could what comes out in the trial change my opinion? It could. That's all I'm going to say about it. I'm not arguing about it anymore in here today. I'll turn off chat. I just want to get this information out, what's happening in court today. I do believe, Jeff, that there is some leeway. I do know that this has been going on for a long time, where law enforcement has used IgG. This isn't the first case. It's not going to be the last. Enduring valor. I'm not advocating innocent or guilty, miss. I'm advocating for protocol. I get you. I just don't want to get into, because this is going to open it way up for all the trolls to start coming in. And that's not what this live is about today. It's about covering this hearing that is going on. Hello, Running Gray Wolf. Great to see you. Haven't seen you in a bit. Nice to see you. I get what you're saying, enduring valor. But let's just stick to this hearing today, please. I don't need a bunch of, and I'm not calling you a troll, hun. I'm saying Stuff like this, when it starts, people start, oh, you should hear what's going on over there. Let's go over there. I don't need a bunch of trolls coming in here because then I will just shut chat down. So let's stick to the hearing today. There will be other opportunities where we can have a battle of wits about, what we think and why we think it. Everybody is entitled to their opinion. It's just, I don't want to get off topic here. This is about covering what is happening today in this hearing. And I do respect your opinions. Oh, he is. He looks creepy. No questioning that. But that doesn't make him guilty either, just because he's creepy looking. Okay, so Ann Taylor hopes to fully squash the fact that the buccal swab from DNA's mouth matches the sheath. No, I don't think that she can squash that at all. But if they can get that DNA evidence on the sheath thrown out, and that's what I believe they're trying to do, then they have then the swab, I don't know how they would still get around that, because you can't take back what we already know. The swab was already swabbed in Bryan's mouth for DNA. The DNA came back that it matched the sheath. So I don't see how they can get around that anyway. But could they possibly stop it from coming into evidence? They could. I can't see it happening, but I think that they're going to try everything that they can. That's their job. So it wouldn't surprise me if that's what they're trying to do. Hello, Thistle. This will do nicely. Hello. Thank you, Enduring Vallow. Yes, all grandbabies are doing great. Oh, thank you, Jeff. Thank you. Joshua Richardson, hello and welcome. Passing blame, in my opinion. It's been a year and the prosecution clearly stated easy on the FBI. Do not have to have it, and it was clearly not true. We don't know that yet, Joshua, because nothing has come back yet. It has to go through the Department of Justice first. I explained this. You might want to just rewind a little bit, because I explained all this just a bit ago. The prosecution is not to blame here at all. Zero blame. And like I said, when people are saying, oh, look at this, the defense has to keep making these motions for discovery. Every case you are going to see this. The defense has to do that to keep their place in the case. Keep it relevant. Keep it on record. That's why they do it as much as they can. Discovery. We want discovery. We want discovery. We want discovery. They're keeping their place on the record. Every case that happens. That does not mean that the prosecution is not giving what they have. They can't give you something they don't have. And the judge has already stated just moments ago that this is resting on the FBI. The FBI is the holdup. They can't, that's not the prosecution's fault. Oh, they would. I agree, Enduring Vallow. I totally agree with you there. Steffi G, hello. Hello, Steffi. Nice to see you. Tanya, nice to see you too. Joshua, I'm going to say it again. The prosecution told the court what the FBI has told them. You can't nail or condemn the prosecution. Go to the FBI and write some letters to the FBI, because this is on them. Arrow, we don't mention other channels here. So please do not mention other channels. Okay, so let me see. Okay, so the hearing is over. The only thing that was done today is the judge put a deadline for December 1st for the state to hand over investigative genetic genealogy DNA info to the judge. So that's the bottom line. They're going to have to get on the FBI, get on whatever they got to get on to get this information to the judge. And don't forget, the judge wants to go over it first. Well, I mean, we can't take that back now. It's already been done. The buccal swab taken from Bryan Kohberger when he was arrested matches the DNA on the knife sheath. That can't be taken away. Everybody knows it now. It's how they got to that point, what the defense is fighting, with the law enforcement going through IgG. That's what they're fighting. Oh, thank you, Running Grey Wolf. It's nice to see you. I haven't seen you in a while. Love you too, Journey's Angel. Nice to see you again. Hello, Marie. Carla. Yeah, basically, the judge said that the FBI is the ones that are holding up getting this IgG stuff. They're also saying that there's delays because it has to go through the Department of Justice before it's released. And then once it is released, then the judge wants to go through it before they hand it over to the defense so they can take out names of people that have no connection, to what happened in this case. Like, they're connected to maybe even Bryan Kohberger, but they're not to blame for what happened. So he wants to protect those people. Okay, Joshua says, seems like they're protecting the unidentified DNA as well. Well, all we know is that there was other DNA that was found there. We don't know where it was found. Was it found on a beer bottle in the kitchen? We don't know, right? So we do not know. We know that there was other DNA that was found. And you got to remember, you guys, there was a lot of people that went in and out of that house during parties. Where was that DNA found? Was it on a door handle? Was it on a bottle? Was it on a plate? Was it on a pot? What was it on? We don't know, because why? It has not been released to the public. We go by what has been released in the affidavit, what has come out in the court hearings, etc. Maybe they ran that DNA and it was explained away. Maybe it came back to Ethan. Maybe it came back to this. Maybe it came back to one of the officers that had initially showed up, or one of the paramedics. We don't know who it came back to. We don't know if they found out who it came back to. We have to wait. There's certain things, you guys, that we have to wait on. Yes, and this may help in other cases, and this may help further down the line, for the higher courts to decide, can they do this? They've been doing it for years, right? Carla, hey, heck, college kids, my DNA is probably there. Yeah, So anyway, so that's the hearing, you guys. Everything has to be, all DNA information has to be submitted to the courts by December 1st. So I know there is another hearing that is going to be coming up. We don't know exactly when that is yet. Let me just, there's another one coming up. I've heard that. So let's wait and see what that one comes up. I'll keep an eye on the filings that are filed in the record. and let you guys know. I usually will post that in my community tab. So you guys can go and check that out. So anyway, so any guess on when the trial might start? Kate Bell, I'm not expecting this to start until at least next year, probably summer. It has not been ruled that it was touch DNA on that sheath. That's only other channels making that up, saying it was touch DNA. Nobody knows what kind of DNA. Was it blood? Was it a fingerprint? Was it skin cells? Please don't push that narrative here, because that's when I'm going to start deleting. It has not been said from any legal source that it was touch DNA. That is other channels that are saying that's touch DNA. Anybody else could have planted it there. I'm done with that. It has not been ruled touch DNA. It was DNA left on that snap, not touch DNA. They have not said it was touch DNA. Touch DNA is something that's transferred from somebody else or from something else to something else. So that is gone. That comment is gone. Sorry, enduring valor, but that comment's not going to stay. I respect you, but that comment is wrong. Nobody from the lab, LE, court documents, nothing has said that it was touch DNA on that nice sheath. That is other YouTubers, other TikTokers, this, that, putting a narrative out there, trying to say that that's what it is when it's something different. So with that being said, I'm going to end this. There's what happened today. Love you guys to the moon and back. Lady D, I will go and... Okay, see, this is what I mean. I've asked if it was ruled touch DNA. You know what? It's not ruled touch DNA. But if it was, would I reconsider? Yes, but it is not touch DNA. Nowhere in the lab reports, police reports, any report, court papers, this, that, Ann Taylor's mouth, their mouth, nobody's mouth in the legal part of this has said that it's touch DNA. That came out, and that is other YouTubers and whatever saying that's what, oh, it's touch DNA, it's touch, and now everybody is taking it as fact when it's not. Oh, and I'm grumpy because I've quit smoking, you guys, so I'm not to be tested today. Jeez. Nowhere has it said that it's touch DNA except for people that are trying to push their own narrative. Anyway, so I'm going to end it now because I am grumpy today. I got zero patience today. I just wanted to get out this court and what happened in court for you all, and it's gone down a road that is going to get me going. Journey's angel. Thank you, my dear. Thank you. Like, I'm done. I'm done with the bull crap. Nicotine patches are great. Yeah, I can't because of the sticky stuff on them. I'm allergic to it. I've tried the gum. I'll show you right here. I got these. I got a box of 100 and something of them, spent a lot of money on them. And they don't work for me. They just made me wanting to smoke even more. So I've got 100 and something of these if somebody wants them. So I've just quit. I've just boom, quit. Can't do it no more. And I'm grouchy. So my patience is at 0. Yes, it's hard, and it's like I'm grouchy. That's why I just want to let me just get the information about this court case out today. I don't want to deal with trolls or people with ulterior motives and theories and this and that that's being spread around that isn't fact. Thank you, you guys. Place them under your upper lip. They're great. I've tried everything. Choo-choo, leave it there. It's not working. So, smelling is contagious. Hello, my dear. I drink charcoal lemonade drinks from a juice place. Yeah, I'm like, I don't know what I'm going to do. Like, I can't even stand myself right now. told myself this morning, go back to bed. You've got an attitude. And myself said, no, get up. You got a life to do. So here we are. Anyway, okay, I'm going to let you guys go. Please take care of yourselves. Please stay safe. Always be aware of your surroundings. I love you guys to the moon and back. We're not allowed pew-pews here. I'm in Canada. See you guys later.